World Wildlife Day is set aside to celebrate the world fauna and flora of nature. This celebration is done nationwide on the 3rd of March every year. The theme for this year is recovering key species for ecosystem restoration. Our correspondent, Uguala Emanuela, has more details on this report.
World Wildlife Day is an opportunity to celebrate the beautiful and varied forms of wild fauna and flora and to raise awareness of the multitude of benefits that their conservation provides to people and their nation's economy.
The impact of wildlife to our nation's economy, I would say basically we are yet to tap into the full benefit of this. So number one, it can help our economy to reduce the level of unemployment. Secondly, it can also help us in improving our GDP. You will see that when we give a focus and attention to this wildlife, there is possibility that our economy will receive a boost.
It has impact because the amount of money we are going to spend on the ecosystem will be reduced if the environment is so good. That's why the crave for climate change everywhere, because the ecosystem is being touched one way or the other negatively.
Recovering key species for ecosystem restoration draws attention to the conservation status of some of the most critically endangered species of wild fauna and flora and drive discussions towards imagining and implementing solutions to conserve them. This effort is geared towards the achievement of sustainable development.
The benefit is so enormous. Number one, to the ecosystem, it preserves it. It preserves the soil through their dunks. The organic manure there is much more better than the inorganic. There's no impact negatively.
When you look at ecosystem talks about group of living and non-living organisms depending and interacting together. So these wildlife animals are animals that are very important because one, they help us in maintaining biodiversity. For instance, all these bees, actually, they are meant to pollinate our flowers. And without pollination, there cannot be fruiting. And without fruiting, there cannot be continuity of life. You and I cannot have food to eat. So, but you see, what happens nowadays is that people goes into the wild, they set them on fire, harvest the honey, and just goes away.
Between 200 and 350 million people live within or adjacent to forested areas around the world, relying on the various ecosystem services provided by forests and forest species for their livelihoods and to cover their most basic needs, including food, shelter, energy, and medicines. Nigeria has a wide variety of different habitats, ranging from mangrove swamps and tropical rainforests to savanna with scattered clumps of trees. About 290 species of mammal and 940 species of bird have been recorded in the country. Of these animals, about 0.14% is threatened, while 0.22% is endangered.
Key species in the next few years will be endangered, and that will be not go well for us, and it's not going to go well for our educational system. The only way that these key species can be recovered, number one, through our laws and our regulations. The laws should be there intact. The laws to preserve these species must be intact. Not anybody seeing any animal and you are shooting it. We can keep them at the zoo. If we keep them, fine. But where are the zoos? Nowhere to be found. If you go there, so many of them are hungry there. And their life expectancy is really cut short. Very important. And you can keep them in a wildlife park.
We need a kind of value orientation. We need to educate the public on the importance of wildlife. That nothing exists on its own, but everything has a purpose. Secondly, we need to have some wildlife laws that we tell people these particular animals are going to extinction, then there should be a law that nobody should kill these particular animals. People need to know how to handle these animals so that they can be preserved and they can be taken care of in terms of animal welfare.
If forest-based livelihoods and wildlife management practices are promoted, it will accommodate both human well-being and the long-term conservation of forests, thereby promoting the value of traditional practices that contribute to establishing a more sustainable relationship with these crucial natural systems. Iguala Emanuela reporting from KAFTAN TV.